Hello and welcome to our SIBS Info Day. The Student Information Service serves you with an info day every semester, and here we are for the summer term 2026. We have a small program prepared for you, and I will lead you through the program. My name is Peter Brandstetter, and we have a few guests. You will see them all later on, and in the end I will do a bigger part with the main topics of how to find your lectures, how to register, some thought of study start packages, and a lot of information around. This is a presentation that will be also streamed on YouTube, and we also will do a recording of it. You will find it later on YouTube. As you can imagine, or you already heard, this is an information session in English. We have also an information session in German, but only in winter semester term. But normally everyone already understands English. What did we prepare for you? This have been my introduction remarks. And I have a few guests. First guest is Gregor. He will tell us a little bit of our social media attendance at the JKU and how to find very interesting daily information. Later on, the ECTU. You don't know what it is, maybe, but you will hear. It's interesting. I just say it's interesting. And some informations of our International Welcome Center, especially for students from abroad. And in the end, my starting package for you. So let's go on. Gregor, it's already your turn.
Bing, bing. Okay. Thank you so much, Peter, and welcome also from my side, and welcome to the JK Universe. It's my honor to talk to you today. Don't worry, I'm not here to sell social media to you, but I want to give you an overview of all of the services that we provide where you can connect with your university and get important information for your studies. Also you, hi guys in YouTube. My name is Gregor Pechmann. You can call me Gregor, that's okay. And I'm 50% of the social media team here at JKU, and we strive to bring you daily cool and informative content on your feeds. So here's a small list of all of the platforms that we are providing information. I will start from the lowest one because we are currently on YouTube. So if you're interested to see live streams like these ones, for example, today at the SIBS Info Day, or information for studies, some recap videos of events that happened. For example, yesterday, the JKU Med Talk about the new psychotherapy studies. You can find this on YouTube. If you're still on Facebook, okay, your decision, but we still have that. So we give on Facebook basically information about everything, news of JKU. We have the events that is happening for Circles of Knowledge, for example, we post there. If you think you would like to see your university try to be as funny as Carrera or as Lidl in Threads, please take a look at our Threads channel. We are having a lot of fun playing and commenting on this one, and maybe one day we get like 20 likes on the post. Maybe with you guys here, please like us. Yeah. If you're going more into the science direction, you would like to know actually what JKU is doing on a scientific level, which papers are currently developed, which conferences we are on, which news, which great recognitions our scientists got. Please follow us on LinkedIn. Right now it's our strongest platform with about like 53,000 followers. So there you find daily content about maybe some achievements of your professors or your colleagues or yourself in your academic career and journey here at JKU. If you want to see us having also fun, but on a video level, then you can join us on TikTok. This is more for you young people here, that we're just showing campus life. We want to give you insights into how wonderful JKU is, especially campus and what you can do, everything here. And for me and my colleague that is imaginary here right now, it's most important in case you are on Instagram that you will follow us on Instagram. Instagram for us is like our direct communication with most of our students and staff here on campus, where we give a multitude of content that might be of interest for you, not only on campus-wise, but also for your student's degree. So you have some cards here scattered across the tables. I made the big mistake and put some in the first row. Thank you so much. At least one person is sitting there from the audience. Yeah. In case you do not have a card in front of you, there is also a QR code right now here on screen, also for you guys on YouTube. So what we're providing on Instagram, number one, is every Monday we're posting a What's Up JKU, where we give you the information what is happening this week at your university. This is not only, okay, there's a circles of knowledge or some weird conference happening, but important things also like dates and deadlines for application periods, when, for example, to register for courses. I think Peter will still talk about this later, but in case you forget until tomorrow, you can find it again on Instagram. And give basically basic information what's happening here on campus as well as on the medical campus, so everything JKU. Further, we do some raffles, so if you want to have a cool t-shirt like I have right now, we will have a giveaway action soon for the start of the semester. We also give like in-depth insights into study degree programs, and of course show like our campus and our beloved Dux. So whenever you have questions about social media, if you write to either on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Blue Sky, we're also everywhere where you write directly at JQ. It's me and my colleague Michaela that are directly there. Even though we sound like bots, we're actually humans. And we're always happy to be in contact with you. We're happy to interact with you. If you have aspirations that you want to create content, you see a beautiful sunrise on campus, the same, send it to us. We're here, social media, there's a social in it, right? So let's connect with each other. Let's build this community and let's make your academic journey here on JKU a worthwhile together. Thank you.
Thank you, Gregor. So I didn't mention before, if anyone has questions in the room, just raise your hand. You can ask your questions. If you have questions on YouTube, you could use the chat in YouTube. But I think there are no questions, everything told. Yes, here are no questions. Okay, then I can carry on. So our second guests are from the EC2U, our ambassadors, Negar and Emra. And they will tell us a little bit about what is EC2U and why is it interesting for you. Two microphones? Yes. Here we are. You're welcome.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. We are here to introduce you what ECTU is. It stands for the European Campus of City University. Our mission is to empower, connect, and collaborate and unite all students across all continents. And this initiative is proudly co-founded by the European Union.
So my mic is also working. You can see our reach on the map. This alliance is consisting of 9 universities all across Europe, and it's coordinated by the University of Poitiers from France. And also we have one strategic partner from Ukraine, and as well as over 60 associated partners like cities, regional governments, agencies, student associations, as well as science parks and much more.
If you are interested in long-term mobilities, we also have ECTU joint master programs. As for now, we have 3, which are Lifeline, European Language, Cultures and Societies in Contact, and Sustainable Cities and Communities. The Lifeline is basically lifelong well-being and healthy aging. And the rest, you can already see it, what it is about in the slide itself.
Yeah, if you're interested, you can check it out on the website. Exactly. So why we're here, our focus is to inform you about the short-term mobilities. As you know, maybe you have heard about Erasmus exchange programs, which last, for example, 6 months, and most of the people do to work or studies, they don't have time. And for me, that was the case during my studies. So when I discovered STU, I saw that they offer like 1 week exchange programs. Like, for example, the forum, it's a key event of CTU, which takes once in a year. And it gathers different stakeholders, students, local communities, as well as associated partners for a week. The students work on Student Challenge, and it's a 5-day program. Like first and last days are like for traveling, and the rest of the days are like students working together. You're getting to know other people, except for there's not just official part, but like also in the evenings, there are like social gatherings as well, gala evenings, etc. So the main goal is for the students to work on the sustainable development goals. For example, the forum which took place 2024 in October in Linz, as you see at the picture, there were over 100 participants, and we were working on the topic peace, justice, and strong institutions. As well as like forum students event is something similar. It's also a 1 week event, which also takes place once in a year, and it aims to at integrating and involving alliance students. As you can see, that's just an example plan how the event plan looks like. It's like 3-day activities and last day of traveling. There are also other exchange programs or like exchange weeks. The STU Entrepreneurial Academy also takes place once a year, and also there are sometimes summer or winter schools about different topics. So if you're interested on the topics which are offered during the winter or summer schools, or if you're an entrepreneur enthusiast, you can check it out and participate.
And we are the JKU ambassadors. My name is Emra. I'm in my last semester of Bachelor's in AI, and
I'm Niga, and I have just started my Master's in Business Informatics.
Our main goal is to encourage participants to participate in mobility programs and also join activities. And also, we act as a bridge between the students and the ECTU management to help you out with any concerns or any questions related to the events. And also, our main goal is to facilitate cultural exchange and collaboration and to make it as easy as possible to everybody.
Yeah, right. Emre, I think, mentioned all the points. If you have any interest for an exchange program, if you see, okay, you have, we mainly post always about it on our WhatsApp community. So if you're interested, just join the community. Then next events will be always posted there. And also you have the possibility to text us or write us if you have any questions about the application, how it works, what the requirements are, because the main requirement is for you to be motivated for the program and have interested in the topic. There's not much more to say. If you need other information, you can check out also the ECTU website and also the JKU website, the ECTU part. And yeah, for further questions, you can email us anytime. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? No questions. I may add, that's very interesting, but we have also programs, outgoing programs that are not in the frame of ECTU. If you want to have more information, we don't have a guest this year, but we have an international office at the JKU. JKU would be better. And there you find additional information for outgoing programs and how to contact and so on. It's not so relevant in the first semester, but good to know, and we like you if you go out someday in your study programs in any way. Okay, just that information as a side information. We're forced, but it doesn't matter, as we want to keep it as short as possible and to give you as much information as possible. But I'm already ready for my next guest, Norma, who could tell you a little bit more, especially concerning students from abroad.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Oh, your presentation, sorry.
Yes, please. It's the first one. Thank you. So just not to confuse us, because we have the international office who is responsible for the exchange programs and mobility, but we are the International Welcome Center. So as our name says it, we are welcoming the people, so the ones that are coming to Austria. And we are here to answer your questions that you have: how to come to Austria, what do I need, where can I do this, how to renew my residence permit, and everything around your life in Austria. We're also responsible for the Student Ombuds Office. This means the mediation between the conflicts that the students can have and the university. Okay? So we have basically 3 areas at the International Welcome Center. We have the International Welcome Center, who is the Service Center for International Affairs. The Students Ombuds Office, who is basically the mediation between the conflicts that the students can have and the university. And we are also proud to have the MORE initiative with us, the one that supports and guides the refugees and displaced students at the university. In case you would be interested, you can also check our website, and you will find a link to all of our services. And well, the International Welcome Center, our target groups are the international employees and also the international students here at the university. For us, international means you come from another country that is not Austria. So it doesn't have to be really that you come from another country far away from Austria, just outside of Austria. We are having different events during the year. So we have welcoming events every semester for the new students. We have an open house, excursions, info events, and for example, for international students, also events that have to do with the job market in Austria. So really check out our website and follow our events so you can find more information, or visit us. We are also open every day from Monday to Thursday, and you can just walk in. You don't need an appointment. This is our website, so you can find us at the jku.at, IBC, and we have some links that might be very important for you in case you're coming to Austria, or in case you're also here, because you might find yourself at one point wondering, what should I do if I'm in another country, okay? The good to know, very important information for us that we are not getting tired to repeat. Please remember always to pay your tuition fee and your Austrian Student Union fee every semester on time. The residence permit, the renewal, it's very important that you do an appointment. You can do it from 3 months before it expires. You can even do it online in case you don't want to go there, or call. It's fine. We can help you with finding the link to do this. Always remember to have at least 16 ECTS every academic year. Very important, this remark. Academic year means from October to September. So it's not when you get your residence permit, might be any month, November, January. Just remember it's the academic year, and you need the ECTS or the semester hours. We are located at the bank building. We are just next to the admissions office, so it's easy to find us. But you can also find us here in the map. And the upcoming events that we're having for the students that are not here, or the ones that are already here, but they are just coming for this semester or joining now. On February 27th, we have the scavenger hunt to the city of Linz. So it gives you the opportunity to meet other students that are also new at the university, just like you, and also get to know a little more from the history of Linz and new places. We also have the Linz City Tour for the first term international students on the Saturday 28th. We will have an international day, who basically is we open our doors for all the students that want to come to us, ask questions, share some coffee, cake, meet new people. And we also have a campus tour in English on this day. And very important for us, there's going to be a fair for young volunteering. So in this one, you will find institutions that are offering volunteering work, and sometimes you can get some ECTS in exchange of this. Now we have also companies that are accepting people that not only speak German, so please visit it. It's going to be here at the campus. And that was it from my side, so thank you very much.
Thank you. I think no questions so far. We have new guests, so once again, if we have questions in the room, just raise your hand. I maybe cannot answer all questions, but I will have a look at it at least. If you are on YouTube, you can put your questions just in the YouTube chat. So thank you for my guests. Thank you for following already. And we let them leave, and then we continue with my main part. That is about starting packages, course MyJKU, course registration, and I also will do some extra information for students from abroad who have to do the study preparation program. So sometimes we'll say, okay, if you're in the study preparation program, you have to do that or that. That is not important for students already in the regular program, but I always will say it's now so, it's now so. What do I have on my agenda? I will give you an introduction to our Kepler University Study Support System. Maybe some of you have already seen. If not, doesn't matter, as this system is for the first semester important for you concerning doing your registrations of lectures and also exams. The main registration period for lectures will start on Monday, so nothing went wrong so far. I also will demonstrate you how to do your registrations in different ways and how it should look like, and there is a lot of information about what you see and what that means to you. What I also will do is to show you MyJKU. MyJKU is rather the same, but new technology, new interface, and some new features. MyJKU is not finished yet. There is no possibility to register into lectures there. But after you have been registered and you have been assigned to your lectures, you could use MyJKU the rest of the semester, as the rest is nearly everything there. You can use both. You can decide yourself which platform you want to use. And in the end, I will show you some examples what you can do with MyJKU. And some features are already only available at MyJKU. So we kicked it already out from the Kepler University system and moved it over to MyJKU. We will see some examples, at least 2. And in the end, and also meantime, you can ask questions. As I already mentioned, I cannot answer any question in detail, especially if it is very individual. It's not interesting for the rest. But you can ask when you think, okay, they could be interesting for anyone. Please then raise hands or write it down in the chat. Okay, so far so good. Before I start with doing all this registration and searching stuff and how to use the JKU apps, KUS and MyJKU, I want to give you some information about sources where you can find regulations. You know, we are a city where laws are important and we have to follow the laws, and also the study program has to follow some regulations, and you have to follow some regulations, and lots of the regulations, of course, all the regulations, of course, you can look up, and it's sometimes for you very important to have very fluent walk through your study program. Also some information about additional information you find especially on our homepage I want you to know. Before I start with things like curricula or study guide, I go to our homepage and close a few windows, not to be confused. This one, of course, the wrong window. Doesn't matter. Okay, homepage. jku.at. You've seen that, of course, before I switched to English, as this is our English session, but maybe you did not see that on the homepage you also have studies from A to Z. Check it. We have keywords, registration, admission, pre-study program, and so on, and really try to give you questions and answers. This is more important after you have finished your admission process, and I think nearly every one of you have already, but there is how to do a final exam and so on. Only a few examples. Childcare services, dates and deadlines, degree completion, JKU card. So have a check. There are a lot of keywords of things students have to know. For example, deadlines. And here you will find, registration period for study programs and registration period for our lectures. Here we have it. Oh no, sorry, this was the wrong link. Course registration, yes, course registration. Registration for your courses. That was the correct link. And so on. Okay, so check it. Another important source is, of course, JKU and MyJKU. MyJKU and KUS. I'm here already in the Kaplan University Study Support System. To get all the information that is in it, you have to log in. Does anybody in the room already have activated a student account? Yeah, but I don't know if everyone assumed it, so I show it. But it's good if you did already. I just show where it is. account.jku.at. You should receive an information when you get your letter of admission by email. Information we are already did you receive your admission? A step by step. And one step says activate your student's account, and you find it at account.jku. Or you can also get all this information on jku.at. Study program, start your studies. Register to enroll, access JKU IT services. That's very important. Why is it very important? After you did receive your admissions, you get your student's number. And after you received your admission, just use your student's numbers for anything you do as a student. So forget the number you did receive before. Something like VK or something like that. Just use your K matricle number. And with this K matricle number, you have to do your activation of your JKU account, and you need it for your username as it is K and your number. That's important. The rest should be self-explaining, and your name you should know, and the activation code is, get the information here. On the home page, just link and read your birth date. English, yes, switch to English. Thank you. Okay. So here you find all the information, how to activate it, how to click, and so on. Okay? After you did that, you can log in. And after you logged in, you have a news area. And in the news area, you also find a lot of important news. For example, schedule of when to register for lectures and so on. In this news area, we have informations not separated for individual groups of students. Any student can see it. So don't wonder, sometimes there are things that are not important for you, and sometimes they're only in German, as it is only relevant for students of German study programs. But always have one eye at it. One important information is, for example, the timetable when a semester starts, and we manage it this way. On top German, on bottom English, if we have it in 2 languages. And what I mentioned already before, main registration period will start on Monday. But we have additional information, it's a little bit more complicated. Just click on the link and you get the information of the special conditions for registration. Okay. I close some windows as they are too much. So, students from A to Z, check the course news. These are information of organizing your study program. Less concerning regulations by curricula and regulations by the studies handbook. Maybe you heard about the curricula already, but maybe you did never hear about the studies handbook. Therefore, I show it to you. We only have, I think, the German link. That's studienhandbuch.jku.at. What you find there is simply any study program we have, and we have a lot. See? They are available in German and in English. Okay? What can you find out? We always have the title. I'll just choose the first one, Business Administration. And you have curricula. Curricula is really the curricula. That's the basic information how your study program is built up. And regulations like how to register and so on. This is a German study program, so the curricula is in German. If you choose an English study program like International Business Administration, you'll find an English curricula. And what is important there is, of course, what are your subjects and how do you fulfill the study program in the end. I will not go in detail. Check it. Read it from the beginning to the end. Okay, it's a text, law text, but a lot of information that is really important for you, as this is the regulation how you can finish your study program. There's also something like that available for, and now this is the special case, for all students who are in this pre-study program. It's the university course for preparation. Here it is. This is not in English by itself, so this is in German, but put it into some KI and let it translate, then you'll get it. These are the curricula. But in addition to the curricula, and I'll go back to International Business Administration, or maybe another example, Technical Faculty, Artificial Intelligence, you also have the title, which is linked. And here you find something we will later see nearly the same. This is the structure of your curricula with all lectures that are included. That doesn't mean you have to do all lectures. Which one you have to do, you can see from the curricula and from the information that are behind these informations. I'll just check one, for example. For example, hands-on AE. And here you get information about what are you learning? How is it tested? Here we have an online exam. What is the teaching language? And so on. So this is a lot of background information that gives you a lot of content, how-to information before you even have your first meeting point. Check it. It's very good. It does help you a lot if you know the things before you start your lectures. These are only two parts of the regulations. There's of course a law and some other papers, but this is the most important for you to do your study programs in the beginning. Okay. So, Studies Handbook, Curricula, JKU website, course or my JKU. My JKU you'll see the same news. Other things you have to know are the minimum credits. That's a rather new regulation, a few years old, that says any student that does a regular bachelor or diploma study program at the university in Austria, so it's a law, has to do a minimum of ECTS. And the minimum is 16 ECTS within his first 4 semesters. So now is your first semester, next semester, and 2 years later, you have to do the minimum of 16 ECTS. That's nothing, to be honest. Normally, you should do about 30 ECTS a semester to finish your study program in the regular time. For example, a bachelor study program, normally 6 semesters. But it's more than nothing. So be aware of it. Otherwise, the law says you will be kicked out. But it's really easy to manage. If you cannot manage this, you should think if studying is really the right decision for you. As if you do just that, you study for many, many years to finish your study program. But we might, for sure, will really kick you out, as we're forced by law to kick you out if you don't do so. Keep that in mind. If you decide to do more than one study program, 5 or 6, maybe then you really have a problem, as you cannot do for all study programs so many ECTS. You will find the minimum number of credits regulations also on our homepage, Study from A to Z, and here is the direct link. So this is the first regulation that is important for you. This 16 ECTS you only have to do within the first 4 semesters, only once, not 3 or 4 times, just 1 time within 4 semesters. Then the regulations is fulfilled and you can study freely. So far, so clear, I hope, in the room? Yes. Next regulations. Studies introduction and orientation phase. And the idea of this is, well, we want our students to find out as soon as possible whether their study program fits to them or does not. Therefore, the law says, it's again a law, you have to write into your curricula, okay, we have to write it in our curricula, some exams students have to do, and some additional lectures the students are allowed to do as long as they didn't do the exams, and they are not allowed to do further lectures. First, do your exams. You can do some lectures beside. We will see later on examples. Otherwise, you are not allowed to carry on doing lectures. So there is no minimum of ECTS within a time, but there's a minimum of basic knowledge you have to know before you can do other study program items. This regulation is also only for bachelor and diploma degree program. Master degree programs, there is no such regulation. It's the same like with the minimum credits. Master students, we say, okay, they did already a bachelor program or something like that. They don't have to prove anymore that they really do studying. You also find all this information on our homepage, and here again the direct link. Really concentrate on fulfilling that regulation. That's a little bit harder than the minimum of ECTS. We always have some students who passed all the other lectures they're already allowed to do, but didn't fulfill that, and they said, hey, I can't do anything this semester beside this one lecture. And we say, yes, that's true. That's law. Don't miss it out. So do your studies, introduction and annotation phase, and concentrate on it to finish it. And when you're finished, you're free to take out of your study program what is appropriate to do. I'll show you more, at least one example later on. Once again, I mentioned already before, here I have it also on my presentation. When you do your application, you get an account like an V or VK account to do your application process. After you finish your application process, forget about it. You get an email with your student's number, for each K and 8 digits, and this is now your identifying number. Keep it in mind. You have to activate your account, more or less nothing else than making yourself a password. And with this account, you use KUS, Kaplan University Study Support System, MyJKU, Moodle, and so on. As sometimes students are confused as they have to switch their account, but you really have to. Here again, what I already showed you on the web page, go to account.jku, activate your account with your username and your activation code. And, oh, German or again. I missed it out to do it in English. No, it's English, sorry. No, German. Year, month, day. And don't forget the hyphens. I have to correct it later on. But most of the students in the room already did, so I think most of the students on YouTube also did already. This was the basic information I want to give you concerning the surrounding before we start with the main topic of the day, to find and register to your courses, and I will give you different examples. What will we do? We'll see different ways how to find the lectures you want to do or you should do. Where is it linked to the study handbook, as there's a direct connection between your lectures and the status handbook I showed you before. I'll show you how the studies introduction and orientation phase, StEOP in German, is built in the system, so we help you to find it, help you to be orientated. See more about deadlines of registrations, how to find out when is the meeting point, schedules, and where to find the lecture if it is an on-site lecture, how to sign up for the courses finally, how you'll do it because we have different ways. They are rather similar, but in detail you have to be careful concerning some aspects. And last but not least, you will be assigned. And therefore, I switched to a live demo in our Kaplan University support system. We have been here already, and I signed in with my best friend. It's Erika. It's a student that's partner of us very long. Of course, she does not exist in real life. To be able to register to lectures, you have to be signed in. Once again, to make it sure, you have to be signed in with your K number, not with your VK or V number. After you signed in with your K number, you have very personal information, now in English, like personal data. And here, for the beginning of the semester for you, maybe important is check your email address is still working. We put your email address in from the email address we received from you when you did your application, but if it changed, you have to change it here. Why is it so important? This email address is the email address any teacher uses to send you emails. So otherwise you will be disconnected from teachers who do send you emails. What is also very important, check if you find here the study program you're doing. And you will see always some parts of the system where we are not in English. That's a question of technical issues sometimes. So sometimes you find German texts in it as they do come from the database, and sometimes in the database it's just German. So don't be confused. It's not an error, it's just as it is. So check your study program. I already mentioned to you that some study programs, bachelor and diploma degrees, you'll have to do the StEOP. The StEOP will be linked here. We'll see later on again. Don't be confused with this date. That's the date since when the regulations exist. It's not the actual date or the date when you started. It's the date when the regulation exists, as they can change and to differ them. Same here. This is not the semester when you started. That's the semester when this curricula exists in the way it exists now. So never be confused by these years here. Okay, so much to our personal data. Also very interesting for you or very important for you in the beginning is tuition fees. And here's the first example where you will see that we immediately switch over to my.jku, as this feature is only available in my.jku anymore. Any student has to pay a little amount or a big amount, depends, of tuition fees or student union membership costs. My student, good luck, she just has to pay the student union fee. And feature which have not been in course before, you also can do it by QR code. Makes it easier to pay. Don't forget, if you forget, we'll kick you out at the end of the period for paying, and the paying period you'll find on top. Okay? Don't forget, otherwise we really kick you out. That means you don't want to be a member any longer. You have to do it every semester, and we'll show you every semester how to pay and the amount to pay. Okay, what says my paper? Yeah. So far, surroundings for the beginning, later on more, but now I really go to our main feature, course search and registration. And okay, well, hard to find, there is a menu item, course search. With this menu item, you find all of our more than 6,000 lectures we offer any semester at the JKU. A little bit confusing, because my students does do a lot of different study programs just for testing and demonstrating things. Normally, you see in your curricula, just your curricula. And here again, for technical issues, we just have the German title. But most of you already recognized any curriculum program has a certain number. The number should fit. And I promised you to show you more about the studies introduction phase, the StEOP. Studies Introduction and Orientation phase, and I'll show you by the curricula by clicking just on one of my study programs. That's Polymer Engineering and Technologies. And on top, you'll find the information about the Studies Introduction and Orientation phase. This link goes to an explanation, and this shows the details. The details say, well, your Studies Introduction and Orientation phase last changed in 2023 says the following. From this long list of lectures, you have to do 9 ECTS at least. When you have 9 ECTS, finished. As long as you did not finish 9 ECTS, you are allowed to take these additional lectures. But you're not allowed to take any other lectures of your study program or any other study programs. So this is the limitation. You can take out of this what you want, but in the end, you have to take at least 9 ECTS of the list on top. In that way, sometimes not ECTS, sometimes you have to do 5 lectures or something like that. All studies, introduction and orientation phases are constructed. What does that mean to you? Well, first semester, check at least that was on top. These lectures do have priority for you. So my student does and says, okay, I want to do the first lecture, check it if it is available, and so on. And here we are already at the lecture. We did find it. We cannot register now, but that's how to find it. It was the first way, just by taking your Studies Introduction and Orientation phase and choose the lectures and check if they're available, if time schedule fits, and so on, and try, focus on finishing your Studies Orientation and Introduction phase. Normally, of course, you do much more, but this you should really do. If you do not do too much, of course, you do work beside your study program and so on. Well, one could say, well, I'm a master student. I don't have to do, so how should I find my lectures? Well, there are different ways how to find lectures. Once again, I go to Course Search. And I'll see my curricula. And I can go even to master study programs, and I do not see here the StEOP information, as I don't have it, but I'll see a list of lectures, and if you did look closely before, it does look rather similarly to the Studies Handbook list. Well, it's more or less the same, it's copied. I wanted to tell you before again something about the StEOP, so I go back to the study program with the Studies Orientation and Introduction phase. Here the list, and you may think you see, no. If I go again to the Studies Handbook and check for the same study program, Poly, so many study programs. Substantial, here it is. And the curricula, that's the regulations you have to study. And here you also find this phase, and you will find exactly the same lectures. If I do not scroll too far, I scroll too far on top. 3. Here it is. That we have seen representing on KUS. So KUS just represents what is part of the regulations of your study program and will help you to fulfill the regulations by presenting you the lectures that are defined here. Okay? So regulations and our systems always take hand in hand. We see later on another question, other aspects where you can see that. So back to our master program. Any questions so far from the chat I should say here in general? No. Fine. So, master program. You see from the structure, we just put one lecture next to another and always the same idea. Well, click on it and then you see if there's a program and all the detailed information. So it's the same way how to find lectures. You could do that also for study programs you do not study, as we also have our 4 faculties and 1 school of education where you find also all study programs. For example, social sciences and economics. And here we have also business administration, international business administration, and so on. I'll just choose one, management, and you see the structure. Well, this list is so long. What to do first? Okay, if you have a student's orientation phase, it's clear. Start with that. But if you have a master program, what to start, where to start? And therefore, I go back to the student's handbook and to the curricula. As in nearly every study program, you have at the end, it's a little bit small, a plan, a typical plan, what to do each semester. Here is the typical plan for the first semester, second semester, and so on. Another good reason why to check the curricula, as it gives you a hint what to do. At the university like the JKU in Austria, it's very common that students do have some freedom. You don't have to fulfill that exactly, but sometimes lectures demand one lecture to be done before course you learn what you need to do the next lecture. So it is very useful if you fit nearly as possible to this recommendation. It's a recommendation. If you do maybe a job beside your work, you will not fulfill that course, you don't have to work enough time to do a full study program, well then, of course, you can do it different. And some study programs even offer additional recommendations for part-time. There's not, but you find also a table there for part-time students. Okay. So check your curricula and then you can check here if there is a lecture available this semester. As especially in smaller study programs and especially on the technical faculty, we cannot offer every lecture every semester. So if you start in February, sometimes it's a little bit more tricky to find the perfect lectures, but there are, of course, lectures. And sometimes there's a number 1 and a number 2, and sometimes you have to start with the lecture with number 2, as number 1 is always in wintertime. Check the studies handbook, check the content, and say, okay, works, so I start with the number 2 and not with the number 1. And do the number 1 the semester before. So a typical example would be here. Okay, so searching by your students' orientation and introduction phase, orientation by your study program, or you already know what you want to do, then you can search by keywords. I will do a lot of keyword search with you because I don't like to click all the time. And I just give you one first example. And that is a very important lecture for everyone who does a program of the economic area, business, admin. You see, I just put in keywords. In the end, it will find anything that has this sequence of letters in it. It's not like Google, but it nearly searches everything, even if the teacher's name is business. The search will find the teacher business. So you can enter teacher, title, the lecture's name, and so on. And they'll get the result with information that is important for you, again, of course. Any lecture we offer at the JKU has a 6-digit number, like most of the curricula. Also, lectures have a 6-digit number, sometimes even letters in it. So don't wonder, this can also be letters. Of course, any lecture has a title. Sometimes there's more than one lecture with the same title. That means, normally, and we can check it by detail then, same content, but maybe different teacher, maybe different way of teaching, maybe different times. So that normally means you can choose which one, as you only have to do it once normally. Well, I often being asked what all these types means, and there are many types. But it is a regulation you'll find on our Satzung. Time to show you another regulation. But I don't show you in detail, just that there is something that regulates a lot of things. That's Satzung. You don't have to check it in detail, just to show you there is something like that. Again, do we have English? But this information normally is only available in German. So status section of regulation, where is it? No, that's the wrong regulation. I switched to German because I find it in German faster than in English. Here it is. Satzungteil Studienrecht. If you're interested, you can check it, but you also find here here are the different types of lectures. To keep it short, you have, and I do it in a course again, you have KS and VL, and KS and VL are always big lectures. VL normally just an exam in the end. KS maybe smaller exams, but still a big lecture, normally also big exam at the end. Everything else, nearly everything else, means smaller groups, some homework to do, and so on. So you can just divide it in these two types for the first orientation. Later on, when you're a student, you will find out what the small differences are. What else? On-site. I also have to mention it. On-site does not mean you have to be there all the time. That can be different. It just says it's not online. It's in one of our rooms. Teacher, of course, which semester this lecture is offered. Summer semester, that's fine. Of course, summer semester course, we just did choose summer semester 2026. ECTS, of course, important for you. Important for you concerning StEOP regulations sometimes, for international students from abroad for, as we heard before, resistation permittance. And any bachelor study program, regular bachelor studium, sums up 180 ECTS. If you have it, you're finished. and master study programs 120 ECTS. Hours, not so important. What does that mean anymore? Just says how long the lecture lasts every week. 1 hour is 45 minutes. But it's not important anymore concerning some regulations like no, sometimes as an alternative to ECTS, sometimes it's asked still. And next date. Well, next date is interesting, but I want to have the whole schedule of the semester. Easy. Just click on the title or even directly on the lecture's name. If you click directly on the lecture's name, a new page comes and the time schedule is already open. Again, the basic information we had, but additionally, you'll see the time schedule. What else do we see? Again, the type, I mentioned before, the title, and here a code. This code makes sure if you find another lecture with the same code, it's the same content. Sometimes, because of so many study programs, titles look rather similar, then you can check it by that code. If it is the same code, it's really the same lecture as the other one with the same title. And link to study handbook. I've clicked through it before to come to that page. You can directly go from the JKU course system to the JKU Studies Handbook system. ECTS hours waiting list. I'll explain later on what that could mean. And for you also relevant if there is something like that. First of all, always be aware if it is information valid for, it just means this program is the program the message belongs to. If you have more than one program, that can happen. Example, my student, my Musterfrau, is not allowed to do that because she did not pass the studies orientation phase already. Yes, we know. At that program, Kunststofftechnik and Kreislaufwirtschaft, it's open. It's not finished yet. And this warns me, you are not finished. If you register, you have to be finished before the lecture starts. Otherwise, you will be kicked out again. This is a warning, orange. You can do that, but you have to be careful of something. And here you really have to be very careful. If you do not fulfill the students' orientation and students' introduction and orientation phase before the lecture started, you are not allowed to take part in the lecture. Warning. The second thing you very often see is red marks. And red says not warning, red says forbidden, not allowed. And it's only valid for Universitätslehrgang. And that's a special case for students from abroad who have to do the pre-study program. Students from the pre-study program are only allowed to do lectures from the pre-study program until they finished it. And that's the information as my student also is in the pre-study program. So for all students are doing pre-study program here or on YouTube, if you see that, you're simply not allowed to take part in it. You have to finish your pre-study program before. So don't ignore red and orange texts. And we come closer and closer to the question of how to register and how all this works. As we have with any lecture, the information of the registration period. We mentioned it already a few times before. Main registration period for the social, economical, and business sciences start on Monday, the 9th. And this lecture is part of social, economical sciences and business, so it starts on Monday and will end on the 20th It's a Friday of February. So nearly 2 weeks' time, enough time. And I mentioned already there are different ways of how to register and how you will receive your assignment priority number. Keep in mind priority number. I'll explain to you later on what's the difference to another way of registration. When I'll show you the demo really to how to register. You see, the registration period starts, so I cannot register now. What additional information I also have concerning the registration period is how many places are available. 200 places for this lecture. Nobody has registered so far, clear. And of course, nobody has been assigned so far, as it is not open yet for registration and assignment. This 200 means for any of these lectures. So here 200, here 200, and here 200. Sum up, 600 places. It's an important lecture. Many study programs use that lecture in their study program. Okay. What we also see, after we clicked on the lecture number, the language of instruction. German study program, German lecture. And for you also very important, as this is sometimes a little bit confusing, the institute who is responsible for this lecture and a contact email address. At the JKU and in many universities in Austria, study program is not so much centralized. We have different institutes with different special topics. And they organize the lecture. They know the details about the lecture. And the institute beside, with another topic, does not know anything about the lectures of the institute on the other side. Even we cannot know everything. We just take it from the studies handbook or from our systems. What are the details of a lecture on the basic small things? If you have any questions that you can't find on the homepage or in KUS or in the studies handbook, you have directly to contact the teacher or the institute, and therefore this information is so important for you. Where are they? Who are they? It would be nice if I could put in a direct link, but this information is on our homepage and it is not databased, so cannot do automatical link. So I'm lucky if some institutes even put in their email address. If you have a question to a lecture, check if there's an email address. If there's no email address, you always have at least the name of the institute, and normally, regularly, it works rather good if you go to jku.at, go to search, put it in, and now I have the institute. And on all institutes, normally there is anywhere a team page, and now I have all the data to contact, opening hours, teachers, and so on. I'll give you a hint. If it is not an information concerning the content of a lecture in detail, it's more or less an organizing thing. English. If it's only an organizing thing, contact the administrative staff, as they really know most about the organizing of the lecture at their institute. In that case, you have here name, telephone number, and email address. Okay? Therefore, this information is rather important. Here it is easy. Here you have an email address. Send an email. Okay. That's the information you can find here. I'll show you another lecture with a different assignment system now. Course search again. And now I'm looking for another example. And now I'm looking for the teacher. And I know the name of the teacher is Weinmann. Lukas Weinmann. He does a lecture called Public Law. Guess which faculty this could be. It's the law faculty, and therefore registration period starts on the 10th on Wednesday. Nearly the same information, same structure, but two small differences. Here you have two areas, a top area with a lot of lectures and the bottom area with one lecture, but there's a difference, different mode of how they are done. This lecture is only for students who pay for the special program. If someone is here who does multimedia, legal multimedia studies, multimedia use in German, that's the lecture he will take. This is an online study program with costs. For the rest of the students who do the study program on site, these 6 lectures are relevant. And these 6 lectures have an assignment by sequential order. We just keep in mind sequential order. So first we had priority number, now we have sequential order. Everything else is rather similar, except one thing, as this teacher or this institute is much more friendly, they also can put in a link any lecture, and this link goes directly to the institute. So that's the most friendliest way. Institute can do it for you, and then you have all the information about the institute and, again, of course, the team. Sometimes they also put on the homepage some detailed information of concerning the lectures beside the studies handbook. It's on their decision. Third and last way of assignment methods that are very, very common, and then I will show some special things. And the next one is direct assignment, and I search by the course number. Symbolic computing, guess which faculty this could be. Of course, technical and natural science. So I have nearly any faculty in my examples. And here you find direct assignment. So we have priority number, sequential order, and direct assignment. We have some additional ways, but this is a minority then. I will first show you now how to use the 3 ways, and then show you the other ways. For students who have to do this pre-study program and want to do the lectures instead of the big exams, I think they know what I'm talking of. I will also show how to select the lectures, course these lectures you have to pay for, but I will show for everyone. To show you, I switch now to an older semester where some lectures are open to register, and my test student, Erika, will do so, or I will do for her. Course search. And the lecture is Testing Course, Kaplan University Study Support System. I have a lot of lectures with the same title, different teachers, different first meeting points, but of course, same code, so always same content. Normally, it's not that way, but for testing and for demonstrating, I did arrange it this way. And now we see different. You see the registration period already started about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and still is open until the 26th of February this year, so enough time to register, even for me. The more important difference is there's a new column with ranking. The idea behind is, well, we have here 3 lectures with the same content, but maybe different times, maybe different teachers, and the student can choose one. To bring in as much students as possible into the lectures, we give the student the opportunity to say, well, first choice would be that lecture. But if it is crowded, because everyone wants to go there, I also would accept a second choice to make sure I will receive a lecture. That helps you to receive lectures, and that helps us to keep all lectures rather full and not overcrowded one, and students don't know what to do. Therefore, you set ranks or priorities. Easy. I want to have my first priority at that lecture, and it says, well, click here to put this page on your ranking list. Number 1, this is my first priority. I want to take part there. But if I will not receive a place, one of these 40 places, I also would accept this one, as it fits to my timetable, and I also like the teacher. It's me. But you can say, well, the third one, never Tuesday on 12. We already have the same time. But never this teacher. Oh, she's very nice, but it's not my style. So you can choose yourself which you want to take and which you don't want to take, and say, I want to take that first, and if I do not receive, I would accept also that for second, third, fourth, and so on. You have to say at least for one, that's okay for me. Never forget then to save the ranking list. If you have more than one study program, be sure you choose the study program where you want to do it. Even I do not recommend to open a lot of study programs if you don't really want to study them. Don't forget to save your ranking list and check if you receive a succeed message like that. Has been saved successfully. You're not assigned yet. You just declared, I want to take part. So you just registered. You see it if you go back to the registration page, as the numbers still will be there. They should be there tomorrow and so on. And in that case, you also see, hey, nice, first registration. Also important for you, as sometimes students misunderstand it, we don't want you count 2 times, as you only receive one of your priorities. So your second rank will not be counted. Only your first rank to see correct amount of students who want to take part. So if it is 0 here, 0 here, and 1 here, that does not mean there's only one priority here. A lot of students can also have said, well, second priority is here. And if this is crowded, if this is red, students that did not receive a place will check their second rank, and they can receive the place in the second rank here. So if it is not crowded, it doesn't mean always it cannot be crowded in the end. It can fill up by other lectures that are crowded. Is that clear so far? As the students move over from here to top, when they said it's my second priority or third or something like that. The question now is, well, one moment. Oh, now ask a question.
How is decided who gets assigned?
Okay. The question, the question is exactly what I wanted to tell you now. That was the reason why I didn't want to let the talk then. I wasn't sure. Well, now we are registered, but how will I be assigned? I have to be assigned. We wait until the end of registration period, 26, and then do calculations. And also check, well, too much lectures, too little lectures. Could we raise the lecture number? Could we raise the part of numbers if there are too little place? And that needs some time to organize that, as the process to do the calculation is rather fast. And your question asks, well, and how is this calculation done? This calculation is done very easy by priority number, and that makes the difference. Any student gets a priority number, and that priority number is mainly influenced by how did the students behave the semester before or the semesters before. If a student did receive a place last semester, but has been kicked out of the lecture course, he didn't appear after 3 times, he'll get a malus. A student who tried to get in the lecture for the first time or second time or third time, but did not receive a place, always gets a bonus higher and higher and higher, and in the end, he will receive the place, of course, of his bonus. So, bonus, first students we take, malus, last students we take in. The rest is more or less by chance. There's only one influence, additionally, that is important for all students who do work beside or have children to care, something like that, if they're part-time students. Part-time students can declare that they're part-time students, and that's in your personal data. My student declared she's part-time student 30 ECTS. Well, that's nearly a regular study program. We cannot do more than regular. That means, okay, you get a little bonus if you say you're a part-time student, for example, 20 ECTS, but we check it. When we do our allocation, and you have already 20 ECTS, we don't give you any more, as you cannot take part in more, as you don't have more time. So students who are part-time students have to care for children, have to care for anyone, have to work. They can declare that themselves. This declaration lasts for 1 semester. You're not allowed to raise it within the semester, so start small and then raise up. It's not allowed. So you can declare it now until the end of the registration period, of the main registration period. If you are a full student, full study program, it's not relevant for you. If you're a part-time student, that can be relevant for you. And this self-declaration will be taken in account by calculating the number. The exact formula I'll show you later. You'll find all this information also, and that's another source of information, in our FAQs. Course allocation. I don't show you in detail now, but we have written it down, not only here in our video. So, my screen, was frozen, my browser was frozen, it kicked me out. No, I'm here again. What does that mean in the consequence? Priority number does a calculation by your bonus and your malus you could have, by part-time students and by random number. What is not in that calculation? The time when you did your registration. Time is not important. So you can do it on Monday or on the last day. It doesn't make a difference. That makes it rather fine. I like it because it's less stress for you and for us. Of course, you should not wait until the last minute if there's a problem, but you don't have to go Monday there. Not necessary. Keep cool. You know, all the other guys already there on 7 o'clock in the morning do have stress, but you could sleep. And do it at 11, 12, or on Wednesday, whenever. Priority number. Okay, What we had before was the second thing was sequential order. Sequential order. And here I also have an area with sequential order. No ranking, no nothing. Well, if you have two areas with different registration periods or different registration methods, you have to switch between them, and you just do that by clicking on register. And then it moves on top, and it looks very, very similar. Also with sequential order, you can set your ranks. Nothing different so far. If I go back to registration period, there is a small difference now. Attention, warning, so always be careful. Orange text with warning. If you save your ranking list again, the registration date will be overwritten and hence your registration position. Why? Because sequential order is first come, first serve. Here, time is important. But still, we try to organize it so students move over to another lecture if they accept it. To give any students as much chances to get in a lecture and fill up all our lectures. Well, here time is the main calculation factor, only time. Also, part-time students is of no relevance, time when you do it. It looks very shocking, but it is not. I'll explain later to you what to do if you did not receive a place and what can happen. So they look rather identically, priority number and sequential order, but by sequential order, time is the factor. Priority number, time is no factor. You will never find that way of registration on the social economical science faculty. The social economical science faculty nearly does everything with priority number. You will find that way on the technical faculty and the law faculty. Third way of registration I mentioned before already is direct assignment. Here it is. Click on register, move it on top, and it looks totally different. Direct assignment is the most comfortable and easiest way to assign, but the problem if lectures are crowded, of course, when a lecture is crowded, as I already managed here, one place, no registration as direct assignment assigns directly. So one registration, one place, and one assignment, that means it's crowded, it's full. And therefore you get the information crowded and you cannot register any longer. So time matters, but if there's another lecture still open, not crowded, you can register by clicking on register. Again, be aware to choose the correct study program if you have more than one. And the message you receive, the successful message, is also a little bit different. You are assigned, you're in, finished. No waiting, you're in. So therefore, it's the most comfortable way. This way is very often used in lectures, I told you before, VL, and just get all the students in. But they can also be crowded. So there can be sometimes no lecture left where to sign in, but I told you, not so dramatic. I'll tell you later what to do then. These three ways are the basic models. The models I'll show you now are all based more or less on the direct assignment principle. Go there, sign in, you are assigned. Some with more than one step, And this is one example I want to give you as followed now. I'll go back to the regular study program and show you how it looks like. First is I take the number, and then I'll show you how to manage to do it. Statistics for social and economical sciences, and here you already find a hint that's different. There's text. Multimedia Studies Service SOVI, that is what it means. And summer term in the beginning. But you see it also here. We say in German, MUS, Multimedia Study Service Social and Social Sciences. It costs money. This is online learning normally. Sometimes a few appointments, sometimes only exam, but sometimes even no appointments. Depends. So this is for studying business study programs. You can take some lectures out of your program and do online, but not a whole program and not a whole curricula, only parts, not a whole study program. But for students who may have working beside, and so sometimes this is useful, as sometimes it's better to pay the 12 euros than to come here over all the time. Normally these lectures are also done by using blended learning aspects. A lot of work on Moodle. Maybe everyone knows Moodle. That's the biggest online learning platform or tool worldwide, I would say. And we use it very often. And of course, with your login, you can also log in Moodle. And you will find most of your lectures in the end on Moodle, as teachers use that very often. And this is online learning with only few meeting points. The rest is online. I show you other examples for lectures with costs, and then I show you how to sign into that lectures. Another lecture course with costs, where it is a little bit more expensive, is this one. Basic course Spanish. Of course, we say, well, basic courses in languages that you can do in school, you have to pay for it. Of course, we don't have to offer it. We offer it for free. Not for free, but we don't have to offer it. And here again, course with costs. The third example for course with costs, one and then, okay. The third example with course with costs, and here I come again to our pre-study programs. Students in the pre-study program can choose how to fulfill it. They can do the courses with costs or just the exam. A lot of students try to do it because of cost, because they need the teacher and so on. They don't want to do the self-study. And therefore, I switch back to how to find lectures by your curricula on the example of pre-study program. Course search and pre-study program is in German Universitätslehrgang, Vorstudienlehrgang, and here you have the same structure as in all the other curricula, but here you find your lectures all with course with costs. The detailed regulation, what to do, how much to do, you find in your letter of admission, and of course we have a very good homepage where you find how to fulfill what you have to do concerning to your letter of admission. But these lectures are course with costs. Okay, now your question.
Do you have the same option for German courses as Spanish?
The question was if we have the same option for German courses as with Spanish. Yes, we offer some German courses also with costs, yes. You can check it by course search. Some of the courses are open for anyone. thumb, you have to check the information as you know the level, entry level, and then you have to contact the institute to say, hey, that's my entry level, open the lecture for me. But I can show you the search. Just go to best way is just German, as these normally are not lectures in your curricula. And then you see we have a big German offer, and some of the lectures normally are open for regular students. Some of these lectures are for our pre-study program students with different levels, and if you do not start with the basic level, you have to contact the institute to make clear, bad example, to make clear what is your entry level. Which one where the information is in it. So let's do it. Let's do this one. Now it's all pre-study program. Here you see pre-study program. Yeah, here's one. And if you see that, I'll come to it later, you don't fulfill the requirement, you have to contact, in that case, the institute and say, hey, I have the certificate, and so on. And here there's the how to contact them. Okay? Institut Zentrum für Fachsprachen. It was site information, but relevant for a lot of students, as a lot of international students who do not speak German, do an English study program, also want to learn German, of course. Okay, but I want to demonstrate you how to buy these lectures, as these lectures are courses with costs. And it's rather simple, not as simple as you buy things on some online shop. I don't know names, I don't tell names. Course search. Search. So now I need the courses with costs. What is the number? Yeah. Okay, which one I'll take? So okay, I just have to change something to show you. I'll explain later on. Or I can explain if I'm already assigned in a lecture of a certain course class, same code, same title, same code, the system says, hey, you're already in, you cannot buy a second one, as you only can take part once. And that was the trick that was wrong now. So now I can show you. Did it work? Yeah. It already looks like direct assignment. As I told you before, it's based on the principle of direct assignment. So you will be assigned direct to the shopping cart. Not to the lecture, to the shopping cart. Click here to have it in the shopping cart. And then you'll get the information, hey, you can go back, or you can go directly to the Multimedia Study Service SOVI online shop, and the trick is you pay any lecture there, not only the Multimedia Study Service SOVI lectures, as this is when we started. So you can go directly to pay, or you find it in your registrations on the bottom waiting for being paid. Refresh. So now it is here. No, not yet. It doesn't work now. No, here it is. Oh, here it is. And here you also have the link to go to the shop. And there you can pay with PayPal and credit card and so on. The shopping cart will not stay all the time for you. It will be dropped out every 84 hours. So if you put it in the shopping cart, it stays there for about 84 hours, and then it will be dropped out. So you have to do it within that period, paid, and then you will be assigned. And it's the same with Spanish or German or pre-study program. Of course, as it is based on direct assignment, as long as it is not crowded. We check when you pay if it is crowded. If it is crowded, you cannot pay anymore. So be careful, as time is a factor if it gets crowded. Okay, so we had these 3 types: priority number with bonus and malus, sequential order like priority number with setting ranks, but time is the factor, direct assignment, time is the factor, but you will be assigned immediately until it is crowded, and lectures with costs that are more or less direct assignment, but the assignment works when you pay for it until it is crowded. And for paying 2 steps, put it in your basket and then go to the shop where we have the paying portal in it. Just to make sure you have seen it before, I also have some more examples, a few ones. And first of all, I have to re-register my direct assignment, otherwise a trick of mine will not work. So I go back. Yeah, of course I have to kick it out first of the shopping cart. So kick it out. Delete. So now I can sign again. Also, you see, when you have it in the shopping cart, you cannot put it in the shopping cart a second time or direct assignment or something like that second time. As we always keep sure you only receive 1 lecture with same course, class, code, and same title, as this is the same content. It doesn't make sense to have 2 lectures with same content and the same exam in the end. You only would get 1 grade in the end, so not useful. Even if you do 2 final exams, the last final exam will kill the exam before, for the same lecture with the same title and the same code. So direct assignment. Here I am again, and register. Back to my registrations now. No, first of all, I'll show you the other 2 ways I want to mention. This is where I have it. Yeah. Adjust by keyword. No, I show you something that also can be interesting for you. We have here a selection of teaching methods. If you just want to do multimedia study service program lectures, you can do a pre-filter, or only on-site, you can also do a pre-filter. And that's again a thing where we don't have it in English. And I wanted to show you that. Looks rather the same like multimedia study service SOVI, but says open content. Says open content, and open content says it's free. Just click on it and you will be assigned. So online but without costs, or more or less online without costs. And here you see only exams. No on-site meeting point, just online. Another thing I already showed you before, but to complete it, that it should be relevant for you, is multimedia study program law. And it says, I'm not allowed to assign as, therefore you have to pay in advance and then you are in the program. It's only interesting for law studies. This is only available for a law study program. you can change the teaching method on top either. So far, so good. These are more or less all the ways how to register in our lectures. After you registered and the assignment has not completed, you find all your registration in My Registrations. As now the question comes up, well, I changed my mind. What to do? I mentioned already with sequential order or priority number that you just click on it and then the rank changes. Just to show you again, oh, I don't want that as a 1 anymore. I don't like Peter. I click on it and it's gone. I want that. I want Sylvia. Save it and it has been changed. Yeah. Now it's this 2. And you can do it as long as the registration period is over. With priority number, it even does not make a difference concerning the chances you receive a place. So if you're bored the next 2 weeks, better than playing, don't know, you can do that. If you want to fully unregister, just click on any rank and there is no number in the end and save it and you have no rank set. Or easier, delete all registrations of this lecture. If you're already assigned, you can unregister of a lecture, but there's a limit until the first meeting point you find in the timetable. If there's no meeting point, we cannot decide, you are not allowed to unregister by the system. But the institute, the secretary, or the teacher, mostly the secretaries do so, can unregister you anytime. But if the lecture already started, you have to say why, normally. Of course, if you don't say why, you'll get a malus. Between the end of registration period and assignment, you are not allowed to do anything, as we have to do these calculations and so on. So between Friday, the 26th of February, and I would say we have written down 27th of February, can be 26th of February, the assignment results. Check course. And we come back to news. Now you before I tell you that, I'll show you the timetable. Timetable is an old feature, but still working, and we'll re-implement it in my JKU with much more features. I have good ideas. But with the timetable, you see all your assignments, but you also can have a pre-watch of registered lectures and to check time collisions. And we'll do with my test student. Therefore, edit your timetable. So use the menu item timetable. Go to edit. And then, as ever you want, move over any lecture you want to see in your timetable, and I choose everything. Move it over with the target and preview. This would be my timetable of the semester. And here red means totally not allowed. So this is a difference here. That's not very consequent. But orange also says, warning, nothing bad happens to you. Here we have orange. Warning, 2 lectures at the same time, be aware. Red, 2 lectures at the same time, there can be a problem. As teachers can say, well, this meeting point, they should come, of course they should come, otherwise I will not do the lecture, but it's not obligatory. You're allowed to be away. Teachers can enter that. Sometimes they allow it, but it is not entered. And if you have a collision where that is not entered, we say red, there can be a problem. There can be a final exam. Well, Mr. Final Exam never leads to a positive grade, normally not. Or, and there's something we also do in our calculation, by assignment of priority number or sequential order, we check in our procedure if you have too many collisions. And if you have red collisions that are more, for one lecture, more than 3 times or 6 units, we will not receive both lectures. You will receive only one. So 1 unit is 45 minutes, 6 are 270 minutes, and not more than 4 times, more than 4 times. If it is 5 times, you will be kicked out of one, so it is reduced to a maximum of 3 times. Any lecture is always compared to the other lectures you have already. Okay? So be careful with your timetable. 4 times, not more than 4 times. Any minute counts. Not more than 270 minutes, any minute counts. And this is a good overview. But be careful. We know we can set priority 1 and priority 2, and I did put both in here. And here, when you check that, here priority 1 collides with priority 2. Is this a problem? No, as I get priority 1 or priority 2, or rank 1 or rank 2, never both. So this is not a real collision. It's just because I said check both. So you still have to think a little bit. Okay, registration period is over. Assignments and results are here. Well, I wanted to do 45 ECTS this semester, and I've only been assigned to 30 ECTS. What to do? There are 2 more steps, at least 1 more step, but in the end, 2 more steps how to receive places after registration period, assignment period is over. And it is a little bit different between the faculties. The social economical science faculty has a strict regulation. After we did our assignment, the next day at 7 o'clock in the morning, we reopen any lecture that has at least 1 place free with direct assignment until Sunday evening. So any lecture that has only at least 1 place left will be reopened. So be there and click on it, direct assignment. Another thing is, I told you, we need time for the calculation, not because our computer systems are so slow to do the calculation, because our administrative staff checks if there is more place needed and how we can solve the problem. So there can be additional lectures reopened with a new registration period. There can be lectures edited that you will be put in manually when you go to the first meeting. And that's the keyword of the third very important way how to get your assignment, even the system did not assign you. If you have not been assigned, there can be assigned waiting list position 7. That is what I told you first. I come later to it. Waiting list, 20 positions available. So you can have a waiting list position. If you have a waiting list position, go to the first meeting, as the teacher has to do the final assignment in the first meeting, and students who do not show up without explanation or excuse will be kicked out, and students from the waiting list can go in. And the teacher takes first, second, third, and so on. If you're not on the waiting list, the same. A teacher can always say, I'll take more. And some do, simply do. Sometimes it's just because the room is too small, but they know students will not come, and it works. But it's not guaranteed. Teacher can also say, well, the maximum is 40 students, I don't take more. But they can say, okay, I also take 45. And with that method, we become, in our lectures, far above 90% of anything students wanted to take part. as I know the numbers from the system itself. So the first step only, and with the faculties, we're always more than 90%. So don't panic. We have very good situation concerning lectures available to students who want to take part. And if it happens one day that you cannot do your lecture well, sometimes you can do it next semester or a year later, you have to move a little bit. Don't register for 200 ECTS if you don't want to do more than 30, for example. It crowds your timetable, it kills your timetable, and it kicks you out because of this timetable collision. Do it seriously, think about it, maybe one lecture more, maybe two lecture more. Follow how crowded is it, and decide it this way. Okay. So the question was what to do when lectures are crowded. Before I show something very special again for a pre-study program, we just sum up. As I told you before, I'll show you the calculation. It's very simple. Priority number is 5 times this waiting bonus I did tell you. I did not receive a place, I'll get a bonus. 5-point waiting bonus. Then the part-time bonus, which is between 1 and 3. So the waiting bonus is always higher. And random number, which is between 0 and 1. Time of registration has no significance, is not relevant with allocation by priority number. Second way, I showed you allocation by sequential order. Well, calculation is very easy. Time of registration is the criterion, and the time of registration will be made when you save or change your rankings, your priorities. Direct allocation, very simple, very easy. You will be assigned immediately, but only until booked out. So time is the relevant aspect. For all registration and assignment procedures that are based on that system, like course with costs, it's the same. As long as it is not crowded, you can take part. When it is crowded, it's over. Time. Most open content, like direct allocation. Courses with fees, with costs. Multimedia study program SOVI. Social economical faculty. Spanish courses of languages. Pre-study program lectures, not the exams for self-studying, but the lectures. And then you always have to register, put it in this, and put it in the shopping cart by register, go to the Moose online shop, pay for it, and you're in. After registration period and assignment, 3 places on the social economical faculty that will be normally on Friday the 27th. Of February are reopened. You can go there, direct assignment. What is also interesting, some students did receive too much to sign out at that moment. So first there's only 1 place free, in the end there are 5 places free. Happens. What I did not mention, as it is in summertime, nearly not relevant, they have a special method of combined registration. This register for 1 lecture and get again a list of lectures, as they get a whole program for the semester with registration 1 lecture. I did not show, as normally we don't have students who start in summer term with the human medicine study program. Multimedia studies law, I explained that's a very special thing. You have to pay in advance and take part in some meetings, and then you pay, and then you're allowed to sign in. Now I do it this way. My.jku is a new platform that nearly does the same, but as I already mentioned, all this registration assignment period process is not in it. But what is in it? And so I come back to our students who have to do a pre-study program. Students who want to do a pre-study program can do the exams they have to do by their letter of application, by doing self-study exams or by lectures. Lectures I already showed, course with costs. For exams only, and that's also relevant for any other study program that has subject exams later on, there's their own registration subject exams, so it's not only relevant for our students in pre-study program, also for example law students, as they have to do it later on, either for example for doing the Latin additional exam. No, subject examination, so this menu item. This. Okay, this one. Keep the mouse on it. Nah. Okay, this one. And it moves over to MyJKU, as this feature is a feature we just have in MyJKU. And that's a good way to show you MyJKU. Here we also have a search for all exams of your course programs, and you also have a filter of my study programs or select one. And for that example, I'll really choose the pre-study program, apply, and I see these self-study lectures are already available, and the registration period is rather similar, only different front end, like direct assignment. I did choose chemistry. When I click on it, something pops up, gives me more information about when and how this exam will happen, and I can register. Everything okay. Register bindingly. I'm registered. Or not really registered. My wish to be registered is remarked, and the institute who is the people who are responsible for it will work on it, check if it is okay, and show you the information here. Then you are finally registered. Go to the exam. And pre-study students have to do that, but you also have to do it, for example, for your Latin exam, if you need Latin for law and you didn't have it at school. So this is also self-explaining normally. Law students need it later on, as they have rather early in their study programs subject exams. Other students, sometimes. And here we are, MyJKU. So far concerning the pre-study program. I'll go back to my cockpit, and you will see it has a nice look. We have the news here, and we have also some timetable. End of registration period, main course registration. You'll see, don't see that at course. You also have a timetable with much more information than in course. Calendar. Events within the next 30 days. Well, my students doesn't have a lot of events, but you will find all your lectures in there, dynamically. You will find, like in course, your StEOP, or no, it goes back to course. I wanted to say your grades, relog in, as it open a new tab. So you see it just goes back and forward, so they go hand in hand. But I wanted to show you the grades, not the... No, what's wrong with the link? A graduation, not graduation. Result of my exams. Here I'm right. No. So, grades, blind. My student has only little grades, but same information like in course, but more comfortable, also available with small design for mobile design. Just check it out. We try to move feature by feature on the new platform. We try to improve it. One improvement also is, we didn't see it, here's a bell if you get a new notification, for example, you have a new grade. A timetable schedule has changed. Then you can get notifications, and you can even let your browser make a push alarm on your smartphone, even if you do not have opened your my.jku. Okay. So, nice, we're working on it, and you can try it out. It's already working. It's not better, but there are some features that still not there. Mobile design, calendar, push notifications, payment of tuition fees via QR code, we have seen it in the beginning, and much more coming soon. Questions so far? Okay. Then I'll continue with last words, more or less. Registration period, we mentioned very often today, from Monday to the 20th of February. Social, economical, science and medicine faculty. From Tuesday, technical, natural science faculty, and Wednesday, law faculty. Allocation results maybe on the 26th, maybe on the 27th, but sometimes some faculties are ready earlier, some later. You can check it on Wednesday. Some maybe will be available Wednesday. When they're finished, we will put the news in our system. 3 places after allocation, direct assignment until Sunday, the 1st of March. And courses will start, depending on your schedule, on the Monday, the 2nd of March. Questions? As this is my last slide now. Then, no, not the last, this is the last. I also want to introduce my department. My department, the Students' Information and Academic Advising Service, is part of the Lehr- und Studienorganisation, Deutsch, or Teaching and Studying Organization English. Every one of you had contact with my colleagues from the admission office at least, as you did receive admission, but also to our department belongs the Examination and Recognition Service. So in the end, when you finish, you will go there. So we will be part or have to do something with us your whole student career. And if you have any questions, you also can contact us. We have opening hours. You'll also find it on our webpage. Easy to find by course or the my.jku with contacts, data. We are in the bank building, this building, 1st floor. But you also can phone us or send us an email. If you do so, please give us as much information as possible, as we don't know everything about you. Well, a message like, well, I cannot register, will be very tough for us to answer. Where, when, why, what do you see, what was the error, and so on. So try to give us good information that helps us to respond in a fast and useful way. Okay. I'll check my paper if I did not forget anything, but I think I'm finished. Questions? No questions in the room, that's nice. One question.
In summer semester,
In general, the question was, well, as I told you before, sometimes lectures are not every semester. For example, Mathematics 2 is very often only in summer semester and Mathematics 1 in winter semester. If the system, and now I've good idea, I've forgotten something. What does it mean if it says I really did forget something. An error message I wanted to explain to you. And that's very important in that context. This one. As I told you before, well, you're rather free to choose which lecture to take. You don't have to follow the recommended semester plan. That is a message that says, no, you're not allowed to do that course. Sorry, wrong mark here, this on top. This says you have to fulfill prerequisites to take part in it. Prerequisites normally mean you have to know something before. You have to do an exam before. Which one you can see here in a structured way, or you find in your studies handbook. So, sometimes you have to do a lecture 1 before you can do the lecture 2. For example, Mathematics 1 before you can do Mathematics 2. Sometimes the regulation is in it, you are not allowed because we know you will not be able to take part. You will not be able to have a good grade. Sometimes there's a Mathematics 1 and a Mathematics 2, and you can sign in Mathematics 2 without that message. That says you are allowed, but it's up to you, as normally, or it can be, that they say, well, but you have to know what was part in Mathematics 1. So if you say, well, Mathematics, no problem for me, I can start with Mathematics 2, and what I've been missing out with Mathematics 1, I'll do next semester, it's okay. Sometimes it can be tough, as you have sometimes, oh, I see the colleagues did already that or that. Sometimes it's useful because the program is only available in winter or in summer. Yeah. For one study program, we see that rather often that's artificial intelligence. As we have a lot of students in artificial intelligence, but not the resources to offer all lectures every semester. The worst thing is if you take part for exams and so on and you will receive a negative grade. What does that mean? Well, you have normally in a study program 5 possibilities to do a lecture again. And after 5 negative grades, we'll say, no, not that study program, that's nothing for you. To be honest, not much. As we know, a lot of students receive negative grades when they try the lecture first time. It's not so like in school. In school, oh, negative, very bad. But at the university, well, when I look at lists of grades, 20%, 30% negative, even for students who finish their study program. I don't recommend to make negative grades, but you are not blocked or something like that. But if you see from the beginning, that's not the right thing for me and it doesn't make sense to go there again, get in contact with the teacher and say, well, I can't take protein need anymore as it's too much. I'll try it next semester with lecture 1. A lot of things like that, teachers and students deal with each other. More questions? So once again, as I did forget, I have to say it double. There are some lectures you have to fulfill prerequisites before. So you have to have been taking some exams before. For some study programs, we have problem with enough places for the students. You have to be in the study program to be allowed to take that lecture. That happens sometimes either but these are lectures you normally don't do. So normally your problem is that you have to fulfill these prerequisites, and therefore you have to do some lectures before. In that example, you have to be in a master study program, and you have to take this 3 or this one already with a positive grade, then you're allowed to take part in it. Positive grade you get normally at the end of a lecture. Final exam, after the final exam, and so on. Okay, more questions? Yeah?
What should we do if there is only mathematics 2 in this semester?
Yeah.
Should we wait for the second semester?
Well, that was exactly what I wanted to tell you now. If the prerequisites allows you, you can try it, but check the content if you think I can manage it, or maybe talk to the teacher. And if you dare to take it, the worst thing that can happen, you can get a negative grade, then you have to try it again next time. From the chat?
Already answered all the questions.
Perfect. No more questions at the YouTube channel. My colleague, Dieter. Small applause for Dieter, who does all the video regie and so on. Video regie, telling me, you did forget that. And answering the chat questions. So, nice job. If there are no more questions in the room and on the channel, I would say, good timing. 4:30, nearly. I wish you a nice semester at JKU. Maybe we'll see you again. And thank you to be here. You have been a nice audience.